It's time, Paulie boy. You know what it's time for, baby?
The Fantasy Fam?
It's time for the Fantasy Fan, baby. And you know, I am extra jacked up because I'm on 1 week of being off, and there was so much baseball played. I'm just so excited to be here with
Yeah,
my
man.
favorite
Yeah.
nephew. My favorite nephew, the kid. What's up,
Yeah.
buddy?
What's happening? Yeah, last time we were on, the season didn't start yet.
Is that true? That's true.
That's true. Yeah,
That is
we were on the
100% true.
Monday, and then they played the first game on Thursday. We weren't on last Monday, and
And now we're here. Look at
now
us.
we are here.
We're over here now.
We're over here now. Handsome as ever.
Good evening, chat rooms. Everybody, if you can hear us, please just give us a shout out. Say we can hear you. We always like to know that we're coming in live and clear. Andrea, the shaman, and you guys, you hear us? Give us a shout. Let us know that we're being heard.
Regardless, we like to be acknowledged.
We do. You know, I need acknowledgement and attention.
Yeah.
My 2-year-old is behind me right now, screaming to get in here, but I'm not letting him in because he's actually now crying hysterically because he wants to come in, but it's just not going to happen tonight, Paulie. But we got too much to do. We got too much to talk about. It's baseball season. Our Mets are horrendous. Literally, might be the worst team in baseball.
They're so bad that I have them on right now, right behind me.
They are.
Just so that we could laugh at them, maybe. You know? Maybe so chuckle.
But it is a DeGrom day today.
Yep.
The DeGrom star.
Yep.
All right. Well, have we gotten any acknowledgement yet at all from anybody?
We have acknowledgement from Shelly. Luke Burrell can hear you.
Oh, that's your boy, Luke.
Lukey.
In the mix today. Say hi to Lukey. All right, kids. So let's keep this rolling. First off, Fantasy Fam, August the 3rd. Probably we're in August already. The season just started and we're in August. Would you have thought this 4 months ago? Definitely not.
No.
Definitely not. Absolutely craziness. Paulie Boy, Uncle Bob on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports Network. As always, Monday night, 7 p.m. We're here every week unless Uncle Bob's on vacation. Paulie's here no matter what.
I'm always here.
Paulie just stares at the screen if I'm not here. He loves it. Yeah, absolutely loves it.
Pretty much.
But we got a show, Paulie. You and I put a show together today. We got it going. What are we going to dive into? I think we should dive a little bit into Major League Baseball's accountability problem. What do you think about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a big topic, especially these days.
I mean, I think it's becoming more and more apparent that they have an accountability issue, and we'll talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about we got to talk about the New York Mets just because, as much of a high ceiling as they had going into the season, they are just an abysmal squad. And guys, don't worry, we're not always going to talk about the Mets, even though it's our favorite team. But this one, I mean, this is just abysmal what we're watching right now. Paulie and I are going to jump into some hot starts. Who has started off the season scalding hot?
Mm-hmm.
Scalding hot. And who do we think is going to – is it scalding? Scalding. Speaking of scalding hot, Lenny Melnick's in the room, Paulie.
Lenny the Legend. Hello, Mr. Legend.
And the Shaman.
The
I like
Shaman.
that name, the Shaman.
The Shaman.
And then we're going to give you some advice on if you should keep some of these hot guys, drop some of these hot guys. We got a little Ricky Henderson. Buying and selling. Ricky Henderson trivia. Talking about maybe the preposterousness of this Mookie Betts contract. I know it's a little bit old news, but we're a week behind. We got to talk about it a little bit, hopefully, if we have time. And I'll talk about a little bit of a memorabilia in my life. How's that sound, Paulie boy?
Sounds like a great show.
Sounds like an awesome show, actually. All right, let's get this fired up, baby. All right. Major League Baseball So first off, what's
Yeah.
your feel? Let's start out of the gate, Paul. You think we're going to play all 60 games, or do you think we're going to get shut down?
Ooh, yeah, I hope so, and I do believe that they will play all 60. I I'm not 100% confident in that, but I'm pretty sure that will happen as long as there's no further. I mean, if outbreaks continue, and it continues to destroy, like, the week for these teams and things like that, and scheduling becomes a mess, then who knows? But right now, I feel like it's kind of containable. I think it's been through, like, what, 2 or 3 teams?
Yeah, I mean, what? The Marlins got shut down. The Phillies got shut down. I heard today the Cardinals have 7 guys with the COVID. So,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Have you heard? Because I haven't heard. Have you heard about how they're going to make up these games that the Marlins and the Phillies have missed?
Yeah. It seems like they're going to be doing those 7-inning doubleheaders.
Oh, that's how they're going to make them up.
When they reschedule, it seems like they're going to be doing mostly all 7-inning doubleheaders. And it seems like there's going to be a decent amount of them too.
Yeah, I mean, this season is just a mess. Even this whole second base rule. I know Lenny hates it. I hate it, and not just because it bit the Mets once or twice, but just because I think it's literally the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Like, you know how hard it is to get a runner on second base, and now you inherit one. If you don't like extra inning games, don't watch the sport. It's not like it happens every night. You might get one extra inning game for every 10 games played. And that's who we're catering to? That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. I know you're a little bit more of a progressive baseball fan. I'm a little bit more of a purist. What's your thought on it?
Yeah, I like to believe that that's not the reason why they're doing that extra inning rule. I like to believe that they're doing it with the players in mind and their health and safety. Because it really does shorten the extra innings, and instead of a typical 17 to 19 inning, extra inning, back and forth game or whatever.
Boy, those never happen. You might get 2 of them a season.
They happen. They happen often. You'll definitely get at least a few.
No, not 17, 19 inning games. Absolutely not.
Absolutely, it happens. It happens. Okay, even if it happens 3 times a season, if it happens 3 times in a 60-game season, that's a lot. So it
happens 3 times in a 162-game season. It might happen once in a 60-game season.
Yeah, but it could easily happen 3 times in a 60-game season. Who's to say?
Okay, so what? These are ball players getting paid handsomely to play. Once they're out there, it's not like their health is going to decimate because they're out there already. Let them play. Don't infringe on the integrity of the game.
You're already seeing all these health issues arising and stuff like that with these guys who weren't, the summer camp really didn't do well.
But that doesn't. I mean, that doesn't matter on how long they're playing for. I mean, you can't talk about COVID and the health and then the extra inning games. They don't correlate.
I don't know. I think it really has to do with the bullpens, especially, and things like that, and just so that the games don't run into 13, 14, 15 innings, and then they got another game tomorrow, or they got a 7-inning doubleheader the next day, or whatever it is. So, I mean, I kind of understand it. Yeah, it's a little bit, I've said this before, it's a little bit like recreational softball and whatever it is. But, so be it. I kind of like it. It seems like the batters like it, obviously, and the pitchers really hate it. But you never know. You never know which way it's going to wind up going in the future.
You would like it, Paulie boy. You really would. Like it. It actually makes sense. Everything bad about the game you like.
That's not true.
Everything bad.
That's not true.
Tell me one thing progressive. Tell me one thing progressive that you don't like that's happened.
I hate like the 3 batter rule and all that was just installed this year as well. That a pitcher has to pitch to 3 batters or unless it's the end of an inning. I don't really like that. I mean that kind of took out the tradition in a way, the tradition of the game a bit. You have pitchers specifically on your roster for 1 or 2 hitters. You know?
I want to hear you say I loathe it. Like you say things like I don't really like it. Like no, I want to hear you get heated up and say I hate it. I hate what they're doing. You're like on the fence that like I could almost sell you on something. Like okay, I see it.
Because it's not really that big of an issue. I mean, if it was a huge issue, then yeah. But I love the DH rule. I love the DH rule, and you know that. That's really it. I really don't like instant replay, but I got to be honest. I like lately since I've been watching these past few games, instant replay has really picked up its speed. It seems like they right after you see the instant replay on TV, it seems like they're getting that call, instantly right after that, and they're going right back to play. It doesn't really seem like that wasting time in the season. So I'm happy to see that instant replay has kind of picked up its pace a bit.
Well, it's about time, right? Because you and I both know that last year we'd be sitting there, we would know what the call was, say for out, and we'd be waiting there for literally another 4 minutes until they made the call in the field. Like that should just never happen, right? The information should not get to us, the viewer, quicker than it's getting to the on-field umpire. It should never happen that way.
Right.
Just shouldn't happen.
Right.
But anyway, I'm happy there's a season. It's really weird. I'm happy we got fantasy baseball. I mean, to be able to go onto my ESPN and Yahoo apps and check out things compulsively the way that I love to do. I know you do it the same way. There's nothing like it. So I love to have that back in the mix. But, baseball, it's just even talking about the game getting the season getting potentially cut off, you already hear the whispers about, it's the players that aren't abiding by the rules. Mm-hmm. But it's like baseball could have done such a better job. I mean, look what basketball and hockey are doing as far as bubbling and protecting the players. I mean, again, I'm not going to say they're wrong or right, but God forbid they said, "Hey, we could have did this better," right? Nobody in MLB ever says we could do this better, and it seems like it's just a pattern. It's a pattern of a lack of accountability. Of, hey, listen, we're going to point the finger at somebody else, whether it be Astrogate, whatever happened there. Oh, that was on the Astros and them. Rawlings, the baseball guys, they did this on their own. Bonds, McGuire goes back to Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, and they did it, but we reap the benefits of it. Mm-hmm. Bro, they take no accountability, and I'm a baseball guy. I love it, but the accountability thing is just horrendous. By the way, we got Malpal and Andrea in the mix right now. Guys, if you can hear me, give me a shout out. Give me a shout out, Andrea, if you can hear us clear. Because there hasn't been much action in the chat room here, so I'm hoping you can hear us.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't agree any more with you. I mean, the fact that this is turning into a mess with this whole Corona thing. It hasn't been a disaster, but it's turning into a mess with these teams getting postponed and things like that. But MLB is not going to take blame for something like this. It's not their fault that they didn't, keep control of the players and make sure that they weren't going out or putting restrictions on them or anything like that. Supposedly, after the Cardinals supposedly went to a casino, something like that, while they were on the road, maybe, or something like that. And now MLB is deciding to put restrictions on stuff like that. And the players leaving the hotels. MLB just scapegoats around all issues. It's never their fault. And I mean, since Manfred has been, the commissioner, things have just piled on him nonstop. And after the Astros in the off season and things like that, and then now with this, it's not looking good for him. Andrew said which ballpark is behind me. It's Truist Park, Mets Braves. They're in Atlanta right now.
There's just such a lack of.
He's talking about in the probably the one in the background of.
Oh, in the picture.
I
don't even know.
Video.
I don't even know.
I don't know. I don't know where it is. It looks like a World Series thing. I didn't put that up there though, so I'm not really sure.
But where's the integrity in this? Where's the integrity in the game. I mean, you're right. Manfred, it's like, guy, own something. Astrogate? What happened with the Astros? Technology didn't creep up on anybody. It wasn't like, surprise, it's been building. I knew enough with the Red Sox whole Apple Watch thing that this thing was going to evolve. And they didn't put any strict rules in place. So them being the governing body needed to put some rules and procedures in place to say, hey, this is how we're going to handle this. But now it's a big finger pointing game. And then the Rawlings baseball, I mean, you still really haven't got a definite on that. And then my biggest thing, I won't go into it.
The balls are still juiced, I'd say.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And the last piece is, the Bonds McGuire Sosa thing, which I won't go on this tangent because it's the thing that gets me the most fired up, and that they blackball these guys that literally brought the sport back. And I actually feel bad because all three of them should be in the Hall of Fame. Not to mention Palmeiro and Clemens. And I know there's people out there listening who don't agree. Listen, it was the era they were in. There were no rules against it. I'm a pretty moral and a moral guy with integrity. If I'm sitting in a locker room and the guys to the left and right of me are jamming a needle in their ass and getting big contracts to support their family for the next 4 generations, guess what? I'm doing it too. And there's no rules against it. And there was no piss test. And now you're going to blackball these guys? It's wrong. It's wrong. And it's just a lack of accountability across the board. And it seems like nobody in the MLB office, whether it be the commissioner on down, has, I'm going to say it, a hair on their ass to do anything about it. No one's going to sack up and say, guys, this is wrong. We got to do something differently. So anyway, and this whole COVID thing just seems like it's going to be another chapter of that. Like, oh, the players didn't abide by the rules and blah, 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 blah. And I'm not even that pissed off about the COVID thing. I just think it's just another touch point on the lack of accountability from MLB.
Yeah. Malpal says it well. Yeah. Joey Votto sums up MLB 2020 out on IL yesterday because he wasn't feeling great. Today he's off the IL. Yeah, that was quick. What was it? A 1-day IL stint? Because if you test positive for corona, then you can't play, I guess. And then if you have the symptoms, you go on the IL, and then if you test negative, then you come right off of it. I don't know. So it doesn't really make any sense because it's not just Joey Votto. It's happened to a few guys already.
But I thought once you're on the IL, you can't get off unless you fulfill the full 10 days.
No, because the same thing happened to Moustakas. They thought, like him and Nick Senzel, I'm pretty sure, where they had the symptoms as well, and then they tested negative. So then the next day they were off the IL. It's kind of like a stipulation in it, I guess, for this season anyway.
Whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing is weird, right? We're learning as we go, just like we all are in our respective businesses and lives, right? We're just learning as we go. So we got to give MLB a little bit of grace here, which I get. But guys, own something. Own something.
No,
even if they came out right now and say, listen, the season's in place, all the plans are in place, but we could have done it a little bit differently. Like, that would show some integrity.
No. Nobody really does things like that. You know, it's just not something that happens in today's world. MLB is just always skirting all responsibility. It's true. And I don't see it stopping anytime soon. So
and Malpal is right. Juan Soto, I think was symptomless the whole time, but they wouldn't let him play.
Right, because he was a DC-based employee. Was that the issue?
Oh, bro, they're making up rules as they go.
Right,
they're making up rules as they go. So, Paulie, strap in because I'm pretty sure Malpal, Andrea, and I are of the similar ilk. So, you might learn a thing or two here once we start getting into this a little bit. Be careful, because we don't want to get too political here. But my God, this can get slippery.
No politics, please.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get into baseball.
Yeah.
Andrea,
Paulie, it does seem like that. Like they are allowed to go on and off the IL.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Paulie, I actually do want to jump into politics heavy. The politics of the New York Mets.
The New York Mets or the New York mess?
Yeah, you would think it's the mess. I mean, what a disaster. Like, we could talk about the season in a second.
Yeah.
But this whole Cespedes thing was a joke. How the team handled it. I mean, take the player out of it. This guy's a head case, right? He's literally out of his gourd. But how the team handled it is just out of control. Like, we're watching the game. I know you're on the same shoes that I am. You're watching the game and you're hearing Gary Cohen say, "Oh, no one knows where Yoenis Cespedes is, and team officials can't get him." Everyone's thinking the guy's dead.
Right.
And you're telling me there wasn't a feeling? You're telling me there wasn't a pre-conversation at all between Yoenis and Rojas and Brody saying, "Oh, I want to get my at-bats," and them saying, "No, we got to give you days off, and he might not hit his what do you call it, incentives," and the guy just disappears and he blames COVID. Of course, he's going to blame COVID. It's the easy way out. But my question to Paul is, who's going to sign this guy after this? Somebody will.
He'll get signed.
But like, what kind of winning team wants a player like that? That's that selfish. It's going to abandon his team 10 games into the season because he's not getting incentives.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you can see with Cespedes the way it went down yesterday. By the way, a very entertaining Sunday with the New York Mets. But you can kind of see how Cespedes' situation is very different from other players, like, for instance, Lorenzo Cain, or like Nick Markakis, even though he was earlier in the season, Nick Markakis, and then he opted back in recently. Cespedes, the situation was just handled terribly from the start, so it just looks bad instantly. There's been plenty of players who have opted out mid-season, within the past week or so, but his situation just seemed so classless. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like the right thing to do the way he went about it. It seemed like he just kind of got up in the middle of the night and left the team on the road, and that was it. And then they had no idea. Kind of seemed like the Mets really botched it. Cespedes really botched it. It was a PR disaster. Doesn't surprise me, though.
You know what the kids call that? You know what the kids call that? Ghosted.
Ghosted. Yeah, Brody got ghosted, man. Brody got ghosted. It's true. Malpal says the Mets probably happy to get rid of Cespedes. Yeah, I mean, it opens up some playing time for guys like Dom Smith, J.D. Davis, Andres Jimenez. It opens up some playing time for these guys. He was a headache, man. He was a headache, and he was a constant distraction. Even from when he got hurt to, then everybody, the whole media following his rehab, when he's going to be back, if he's going to play, all this. He was constantly a distraction. And, I know that they're 3-7, but maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that he's off the team now, and maybe they turn it around. Maybe. Are you saying that the Mets have the possibility, like the 2019 Washington Nationals, that addition by subtraction by Bryce Harper, and I know Bryce wasn't on the team at all, but started the season 19-31, and then once they got a little sense of themselves, were able to catch fire and go. Maybe it's addition by subtraction again, getting rid of Cespedes. They like better who they have on their squad right now, even though I still think Cano has to go. I think he's part of the problem too. But maybe I do believe it can be an addition by subtraction, especially because of how much of a distraction that Cespedes has been. And he's been a distraction even while being hurt. The guy gets hurt by a wild boar on his farm. These like ridiculous stories, stuff that you normally wouldn't believe.
From what I hear that's not a true story. I hear that because he was smuggled into the U.S. from Cuba, that he's got ties to the cartel, and they want their money from him, and they hurt him on purpose. Which, if that's true, I would feel badly. And now they're trying to get their money from him, so he's trying to maximize all his dollars.
I mean, if that was the case, then wouldn't you play this season? You know what I mean? Like you would play out the season. I think I saw that he made $330,000 in 10 games this year, and that's what he's walking away with. The guy was supposed to make I think almost 30 mil. Then he got hurt, whether it's from a one bore or the cartel or whatever he did. Then it was knocked down to about 10 million for this year. I'm pretty sure. And then with Corona, I think they took 70% like a prorated salary, something like that. So what was he going to make, like 7 million this year if he played the rest of the season?
No, I think
not even 7 mil.
I think it was like 3. I think he was all the way down to 3 based on all the stuff that happened
on the prorated salary. So now he's at 0. Or, no, I'm sorry, he made $330,000 is what I saw. So I guess he's good. I mean, I saw that he made 130 mil so far in his career. I'm sure he's fine. I saw yesterday or something like that. I don't know if you saw that picture.
Which picture?
The guy is in Atlanta. Like there were like 3 kids who saw him in a mall and took a picture with him yesterday.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
It was either yesterday or the day before. But I mean, you can't be that concerned with Corona if you're going to a public and doing whatever.
No. Paulie, you know it and I know it. It had nothing to do with Corona. Had nothing to do with
Corona. No, of course.
Let's just move on from
that. It had to do with his playing time. He was disgruntled. They are a mess.
Let's just move on. I do want to say that Malpal made a bet with George for $100 if the Marlins would do better than the Mets, and he might win that bet. Especially if you're going by winning percentage, I think you might win that bet. But
that's a good question, Malpal. I wonder if he has any of his $130 million left. I mean, not if the cartel was looking for him. Who knows? Yeah.
But I mean, the Mets truly are a mess between Edwin Diaz. I mean, I think they should give him a little bit more of a rope in middle relief because he's got nasty stuff. Marcelo Ozuna took him out in game 2 on a really good pitch, and then he had the Red Sox meltdown. I think he deserves a little bit more. I wouldn't throw in the towel yet on him. Plus, I don't think Brody's willing to accept defeat on that trade yet because that would have just blown up in his face. That alone should keep him his job. Should cost him his job. And Paulie, I don't know if you know this, but Jesse Matuza in the mix.
He believes it. He believes. I'm pretty sure he's talking about the story of the cartel that you were just saying.
Of course. But did you know that Brody helped Yoenis get his contract too?
Yes.
With the Mets?
Yeah.
I didn't know
because he's the agent.
I knew he was with Cano. I didn't know he was with Yoenis. So Brody is all the Mets are a joke. The more you realize it with Brody, even with this Rojas guy, like I get you had him. I get he comes from a pedigree of Felipe Alou. But my God, why couldn't you just spend on Girardi, right? Get a field general. Get Buck Showalter. Get a guy that wouldn't put up with this. That wouldn't put
Why
up
would they do that?
With these hijinks. Wouldn't put up with, by the way, that's an underrated word, hijinks. But they wouldn't put up with these hijinks of what the Mets do. Like, it is an absolute mess. An absolute mess.
Yeah.
The rotation is a mess. I love Dave Peterson, but they're probably going to destroy this guy. Porcella and Waka are garbage. Matz is okay. DeGrom fell apart the other day. I mean, I'm in the Mets hole right now. I don't want to spend too much time. Our listeners don't want to hear about the Mets too much, Paulie, because we're homers when it comes to the Mets. It's just
anything about them.
It's pathetic. Malpal, using Diaz as an opener is not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. Throw him for an inning or 2, see how he goes. Hell, it can't get any worse. But yeah, it's just
if the Marlins don't play, then Malpal, that bet is in very good shape because right now they would be in the playoffs if the season ended today.
And Malpal, yes, if the Mets change ownership, which they will, I don't think they're going to want any remnants of what the Wilpons were at all. I don't think they're going to want any Brody. I don't think they're going to want any Rojas. They might get rid of a lot of the players, like especially that high price. Like if it's Cohen and he's got the money and the pocketbook to do that, like he might just say, "All right, Cano, here's write you a check, get out of here." or do like a Red Sox type trade and just ship him off to someone and pay a lot of his contract just to have the roster spot. Like I could see that happening, but they can't keep going this way. It's almost becoming the Knicks part 2. It's just bad management of a sports team. And we're lucky we got the World Series in 2015, but it's been a mess. It was a mess before that.
They got to it. They got no ring from that.
It's just atrocious. So anyway,
we got a pennant. Big whoop.
Let's lighten this for a bit. And let's get a quick trivia question, Paulie. Ready? Paulie and I were just perusing some all-time players, and we landed on Ricky Henderson. And we said, oh, all right, there's a lot of hype about Ricky Henderson. Best leadoff hitter ever. Like, oh, man, that's such high praise. And we looked at his stats. Paulie, how impressed were you by Ricky Henderson's numbers?
Yeah, I was just stunned. And I feel like he doesn't get enough credit. Is that crazy to say?
No, I mean, he really was the greatest of all time when it comes
almost like he was underrated. I mean, I saw him play like, very late 30s, early 40s, of age. So I really don't know him in his prime, but it just seemed the guy isn't really talked about all that much.
I mean, they do. I mean, he is heralded as the best leadoff hitter of all time. I mean, that's very high praise, right? He's a Hall of Famer, first ballot guy. Yeah, sure. But I mean, is he on the Mount Rushmore? No. Would he be a top 10 player of all time? Yes. I think Ricky Henderson is a top 10 player of all time, and that's
so that is pretty high praise. High praise.
But that's for me. Do people say that commonly? Probably no. I would say the average person would not put him in top 10, Ricky. But anyway, let's get to the quick Ricky trivia question. And it has nothing to do with the 130 stolen bases he had one year, which was ridiculous. It's just stupid.
Yeah, crazy.
Just stupid. One of my favorite stories, just quick, is Harold Reynolds tells the story about when he was on the Mariners and Ricky was hurt one year, and Harold Reynolds led the American League in stolen bases with 66. And the next season, Ricky got a double and was at second base and said to Harold, he said, if Ricky plays, Harold doesn't win the stolen base crown. So Ricky talking about himself in the first person there. But anyway, okay.
Love it.
Here it is, guys. Name the 9 teams Ricky Henderson played for. This is going to be progressive. We're not going to sit here and wait for it. In the chat room, just start putting some teams. There's 9 teams, 9 of them, that Ricky Henderson played for.
Yep. 9
different teams. There's a couple teams he had different stints with. He went somewhere, he came back, but 9 teams.
9 teams. What did he? I think he played like 24 years or something like that. 23 years.
He started in the 70s, like 78, and he played till what? 2002.
He played till 04, I think.
Yeah. Now, pals, off to the races. Padres, Mets, Yankees, A's. All correct.
Yep.
All correct. Good job. All right. Keep them coming, Mal Pal. Guys, if you're just tuning in right now, what you missed is Paulie Boy and Uncle Bob talking about MLB scapegoating, talking about the New York Mets and their abysmal season this year, and just Yoenis Cespedes and the mess that they are. We're going to dive into some hot starts right away, right now, a little Ricky Henderson trivia. If you missed any piece of that, go on demand, go onto the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports Network and play catch up, all right? All right. Again, before we go into who hot starts and who you're buying, who you're selling, trivia question one more time. 9 teams Ricky Henderson played for. I want to hear the 9 teams. Alpal got to start off with the Padres, Mets, Yankees, and A's, which means we got 5 more. All right, guys? Shout them out. All right, Paulie. We're 10 games in. By the way, if you get a chance tonight, I know you're watching the Met game. Big matchup tonight. I'm excited to watch it, which is Paddock against Buehler.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, the Padres look good, huh? Wasn't too far off about them earlier in, like right before the season. We were talking about possible sneaky teams. I know it's only 10 games in or so, but they look good so far.
From the Padres?
Yeah,
I hate the Padres. Anyway,
I know you do.
Malpalm, sorry. Yes, the Dodgers. Good job.
Yeah, Dodgers was a team that he retired with.
Yeah, there's 5. You got 4 more. 4 more teams. Tougher ones. Well, yeah, tougher one. Of the last 4 teams, none of them he was with for over a season. So, tougher ones. All right, Paulie. Hot starts. Let's go. What's your take on that giant second baseman, Donovan? What's his name? Solano. Solano. Donovan Solano.
Yeah.
I mean, he's batting .484, 13 ribs. What do you think about this cat?
Yeah, I mean, he's an older dude, a bit of a journeyman. He's in his, I think he's like 32. Off to a ridiculously hot start. I think he's batting over like 480, if I'm not mistaken. And if I'm playing fantasy, I would have no problem picking him up in a 60 game season. He's already batting 480. Yeah, he's gonna cool off, but there's no reason why this guy can't hit 350 for the whole season.
All right, Paulie. So I'm gonna throw a wrinkle in here, okay? Because a lot of you guys, this is a fantasy sports network, right? Shaman, yes, Boston, good call. 3 more to go for Ricky. 3 more to go. So here's the wrinkle, Paulie boy. Is most people that are in a baseball league have a free agent budget, right? What do they call it? FAAB, something like that, right?
Free agent auction budget. Yeah.
There you go. So typically, we play with one that's $100 that you have to budget over the course of the season. But because we have an abbreviated season, and Paulie boy didn't like this, but we're on a $40 budget. So being that you're on a $40 budget,
so strict,
which is strict. But now we're talking about guys that are off the hot starts that are not your average, dining room table names. Would you? So I think the right way to frame this up, Paulie, is would you spend $1 or 2 of those precious dollars on these guys? It's too easy to say, oh yeah, I pick them up, but now we're putting a value to it. Would you spend the money on it? So go back to Donovan Solano. Would you spend $1 or 2 on Donovan Solano, even though those are dollars you might need later on?
Yeah, I mean, personally, I had the choice between him and a guy that I actually did wind up picking up in Hanser Alberto from the Orioles. Mainly because Alberto had second and third base eligibility, and he's off to a pretty hot start as well. I went with Alberto, but Solano, and I spent $2 in the $40 auction budget on Alberto. So I mean, with Solano, if it was $100 budget, you're saying?
No, I'm saying this year $40. Would you spend it on Solano?
Yeah, okay. I mean, Solano would have been my second pick. So like I had Alberto in for $2 and I had Solano in for $1 just in case I didn't get Alberto.
I think he's a journeyman, and so you're buying him. I'm selling him. I don't think he's going to sustain.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to sustain. Honestly, the thing is for me is that you need the availability. You know what I mean? So if this guy, he's playing with a team that hasn't been hit by Corona yet, he's batting 450, 480, whatever it is. He's going to keep it up for a little bit. It seems like he's going to have the playing time. So if you got guys who are postponed, you got guys who are hurt, whatever it is, it's not bad. I'm not saying Solano, I love him. I'm going to keep him all year. I might pick him up for $1 and then wind up dropping him a few weeks from now. But he may get me a win in my matchup this week if I had him,
He might. I mean, he might. But remember, these are dollars that you might need in the postseason.
That's true. That's true.
But you got to get to the postseason. You got to get there. Okay, I hear you. Yeah, Malpal or Shaman rather. We're not counting teams he was with twice. 9 different organizations he was with. So far, we have A's, Padres, Mets, Yankees, Dodgers, and Boston. 3 more to go. All right, so keep them coming. All right. Here's the next guy. Dansby Swanson. So Dansby Swanson's interesting. Obviously a high draft pick. Always has had a lot of prestige, high ceiling to him. Last year he started off hot too. I owned him in 2 fantasy leagues last year. Was boiling hot last year at the beginning of the year, and then totally cooled down. This year, 368 average, 11 ribs out of the gate. Had a 5 RBI day the other day against the Mets, I think. What do you think, Dansby? Do you think he's finally coming to his own? Or do you think this is just another hot start and fizzle?
Yeah, love Dansby. Dansby looks awesome. I mean, he's had all the hype. Probably the first player ever to be, first overall pick to be traded. I think it was like the next season or was the season of whatever it was. For whatever reason, Arizona made the worst deal of all time trading him away. But he's finally seems like he's hitting his stride, getting better and better, every season so far. I love him. I would spend on him if he was on waivers. I would have spent a decent amount on him just to get him.
Bro, you have such a man crush on Dansby Swanson. First off, you said worst trade of all time, which is so overblown. There's not a more overblown statement that you've ever made than that.
Dude, it's one of them. It's got to be one of the worst trades of all time.
It's not like he's even had a great career so far. You can't say worst trade of all time. All time, bro. We're talking about like Babe Ruth and John Smoltz. And like all these guys that like Jeff Bagwell, right? All these you talk about Dansby Swanson. Get out of here.
You can put Dansby Swanson trade as a top 10 worst trade of all time.
Get out of here. You are out of your mind. Yes, you love this guy so much. Oh my God.
I'm just getting facts.
Andrea, he hits hard.
Top 10 worst trade of all time.
Not a top 10 worst trade of all time. That's just absolutely ludicrous. I am not buying Dansby Swanson. I think he's another hot start. Done. I do. I love his hair. I don't love the player. I just think he doesn't have the longevity to see it up there. Chris Archer to the Pirates easily beats this one, Shannon. Easily.
That was a pretty bad trade too.
Yeah, bro. That destroys anything involved with Dansby Swanson. All right, so let's not even go.
No way.
Anyway, the next player I'm going to talk to you about is a guy that I think you like, and I know I'm on board with. This is my first. I'm buying him. Is Tayaska Hernandez?
You love Tayaska. Oh wait,
I love Tayaska.
Roberta's in here.
Ma, get off. That's my mother. Hey, Andrea, my mother's in the room.
Stop picking on me.
Unbelievable.
Love
but
you,
Paulie
man.
boy, listen.
Love you, man.
Tayaska is like a Jose Bautista 2.0. Like I just see him as being one of those guys that just mashes. And right now he's off to a nice start. 321, 4 homers. Really nice start. Toronto lineup hits. They're known to hit. Young lineup hits. He's a guy that can develop with this team. I'm buying Tayaska. I'm spending $2-3 on Tayaska if he's on the wire, Paulie. How about you?
Yeah, you love Tayaska. You do. Me, not so much. I know he's that big bat, but I don't see him sustaining that batting average. So we'd be eventually trading those home runs for, it's going to eventually come down to a measly like 200. He'd be lucky to bat 250 this year, probably. In a normal season. What did he bat last year? I'm not really too sure. I know he's not that great with his batting average. I'm not going to trade possible power for eventual heavy decline batting average. So I'm not sold. I'm selling.
But you love Dansby Swanson. But you love it. Get out of here. Get out of here, kid.
What? Dansby looks great. First inning, guy's jersey is filthy.
He did last year too for the first quarter of the season. Fall in love with these. Bro, get out of here. He came back and was abysmal. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
My God.
All right, talk to me about Christian Vasquez, Boston Red Sox backstop.
Yeah. Vasquez looks awesome, by the way.
323, 9 RBI. In our league, he was on the free agent wire for a couple days before my buddy Boo picked him up. I wish I picked him up. But
after the draft, I mean, it was like almost 2 weeks he was on the waivers, and then once he got hot, it was a couple of days before anybody picked him up still. But I wish I could have. It's just so hard to make room for a second catcher on your roster. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially right now. So I don't really know. I wish I got him. I should have just dropped Will Smith outright for him, but I didn't. And Vasquez had a breakout year last year, so it seems like he's still keeping it up, and he's off to a hot start. So definitely buying Vasquez.
Yeah, I think he's a juice ball guy, but I mean he's raking. I mean the guy's raking.
Yeah, I mean taking advantage of it. Why not?
He's hitting 320s, 4 home runs. I mean, from a catcher, the catching position is so thin that like Vasquez is a top 5 catcher. He's a top 3 catcher right now. I mean, Garver's not hitting. Realmuto's out. Will Smith is garbage. You know, it's like, all right. I mean, Shaman says, can you give him a urine for the Swanson statement? I don't know what that means.
I don't know what it means, and I don't like it either, all right?
Yeah. I'll give him something, Shaman, for the Swanson statement. I already did. I gave it to him.
It wasn't that crazy, man. It wasn't that crazy, I don't think.
You know, one other position player that I'm not sold on yet is Jacoby Jones of the Tigers.
Yeah.
A lot of hype with this guy, though. I got a lot of friends that like Jacoby Jones. I'm not big into Jacoby Jones. Andrea, catchers are the worst. I never invest in catchers. Catchers and relief pitchers. Never invest in them. Right? Never.
Yeah.
But Jacoby Jones, 379, Paulie, 7 ribs, 3 bombs for a mediocre at best Tigers lineup. What do you think of that guy?
Yeah, Jacoby. I feel like I've been hearing his name for a few years now. Jacoby Jones, and just never really panned out. I feel like this is a guy who is so far taking advantage of a 60-game season, and it just I don't see it happening in a 162-game season. You know, if this was April, maybe he's just having a solid April, but just winds up, completely, fluttering out. I'm not sold on him at all. Just doesn't seem like, he'll have the playing time, but just doesn't seem like it's, something I'm really going to keep my eye on and invest in as far as, fantasy.
Yeah. It's hard with Tiger players, unfortunately, right now. I agree with you. I think he could be a nice little player, but I don't know if he's going to be fantasy relevant for too long. But,
Malpal said that he has Kevin Smith and AL only as his catcher. He has 0 at-bats. Well, that's very sad.
Yeah. Andrew, I have Roberto Perez in one of my leagues, too. He's unfortunately on the IL right now. But I was buying his, 24 home runs last year, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he's back soon because I got Brian McCann. And by the way, let me talk about Brian McCann. I don't understand Brian McCann.
James McCann,
I mean, right. James McCann with the Tigers, that he's sitting half the time. Like, I get they got Grandal now, but the guy still needs to hit, and the guy does hit. He's still hitting 3-something. He's got a couple of home runs. Like, I don't understand why they're sitting.
It's crazy. There's only about 3 or 4 catchers who play full time, if that. I mean, everybody else is in a platoon. Everybody else is playing every other day, and it sucks.
Yeah. Shaman, Perez and Ramos is a good duo over there. But anyway, by the way,
Salvi's been playing from first base.
I'm going to throw in one more offensive guy because I love him. And I think he's going to be a good hitter, and that's Trent Grisham. I really like Trent Grisham. Yeah, I mean, he's hitting 273, 10 runs scored, 3 homers, 6 ribs, 2 stolen bases. He's contributing all over. And he didn't get a great shot at it in Milwaukee. He had a bad error at the end of the playoffs last year that destroyed Milwaukee, knocked them out. But he's in San Diego, I think, right? So Malpal, right? I'm pretty sure. So Malpal, I'm curious your thoughts on Trent Grisham. I'm a big Grisham guy. As much as I don't love the Padres basically based on their general manager. I do like Trent Grisham. I do like Trent.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. He was kind of hyped as a prospect coming up with the Brewers. I'm pretty sure he was, kind of a big deal. I felt like coming up last year, and then after what happened in the playoffs, he got traded, and then really went under the radar. So it seems like he's in a good spot to produce and just be himself kind of. And he's been good. He's actually been pretty good defensively for San Diego.
Grisham is a solid player, man. Really solid player. So good.
I agree.
I'm buying Trent. You're buying Trent?
Yep.
All right. Not Trent Reznor, but Trent Grisham. You don't even know who Trent Reznor is. You don't even know who Trent Reznor is, Paulie.
No idea.
Amazing musician. Anyway, moving on. All right, pitching. Let's throw a couple of pitchers in the mix just to kind of keep this even Steven. By the way, guys, still waiting on three Ricky Henderson teams. Of his 9 teams, we got the A's, the Padres, the Mets. What?
I think Shaman got it. I'm pretty sure a while back.
No, there was 3 more.
No, he got it. He did? Shaman has it. Yeah.
He said Angels, Seattle, Toronto.
You got Seattle, Dodgers, Toronto, and Angels.
All right, great. All right, so we did it. Great. Great job, Shaman. I didn't see that. Grisham, a fan. I mean, Fam's good too, but I'm not a big Fam guy. I'm actually more of a Grisham guy than I am a Fam guy. So, but let's get into some pitching.
Wait, real quick. You would take Grisham over Fam?
I would. I'm that high on Grisham.
Wow.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm that high. I would probably spend $4 if Grisham was on the wire right now because I see him contributing all over. He's got 2 bags too. Don't discount the bags. We talk about Ricky Henderson and him having 130, but bags, especially in a league like you or I are in, where there's 10 categories, you can't discount a category, right?
Yeah.
Saves, by and large, are hard enough right now to come by because closers are losing their job, which is what we should talk about next week, Paulie, is how quickly closers are losing their job because of, they're just sucking. But stolen bases, it's hard to get saves, but stolen bases, man, to get a stolen base guy or a guy that can give you 2 a week, that's gold.
Yeah.
Gold. And I'm not saying Grisham's going to give you 2 a week, but, I mean, so far, so good. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about some pitching. A few pitches to throw at you. We're almost done here, about 8 minutes. Tyler Chatwood, I mean, how much can we talk about this guy? This guy's just been unconscious, literally unconscious.
Yeah. Tyler Chatwood. Yeah, he's pitching unbelievable in Chicago right now.
By the way, I got to give a quick shout out to my buddy Chris DeRico, who's getting married in 2 months and giving me a big let's go. That's his
Chris DeRico.
Chris, first time visitor. I've been on him to get in the room.
What's up, DeRico? Congrats on the engagement. I hope it goes well. He's actually he's tying the knot. It's happening.
Yeah, in October.
Good for him. Good for him.
But Tyler Chatwood's really good.
Yeah, I mean, I like Chatwood. He's completely out of the blue. Nobody was thinking that he would do anything what he's been doing. I mean, he's been awesome. He's looking more like an ace than a 5-starter. Everybody thought he would be like a 5th starter for them, but he's looking more like the ace of that team, which is pretty crazy. Does he keep it up through every start? I mean, it's possible. What's he gonna get? 8 to 10 more starts at most. So I mean, if you throw in 2 bad outings and the rest are still pretty good, guy could be a Cy Young contender the way he started out.
You got a little excited here. You got a little excited. I mean, the Cubs.
No, I'm just saying he could be.
I guess
the way he started out.
I mean, 2 starts. I mean, he's already almost a 5th of the season done. So could he be? Sure, it could be. I'm not a buyer on Tyler Chatwood. Very nice beginning of the season. Like Shaman said, one of those games were against the Pirates, so you got to take it all with a grain of salt.
Right.
But not much of the season.
Right.
I'll tell you who I do like is Aaron Savali, the pride of Northeastern University. Northeastern University Huskies, baby.
Yeah, a little bias towards him.
a little bit, but I mean, he's not off to a blistering start. He's 1-1 with a 3.75 ERA, 18 Ks. But like anybody who touches Cleveland pitching, meaning like whatever's going on their pitching, I don't even know who their pitching coach is, but he does a great job. Whoever it is doing a great job. I know Tito's the manager. I don't know who the pitching coach is, but yeah, it's like solid gold over there.
Yeah, I'm definitely buying any Indians pitcher at this point.
Yeah.
Between him and Plesac, they look awesome. They look great. Yeah. They really do. Real quick, the Shaman said my league stolen base is a low point value. So that's true. In a points league, stolen bases may not be as important, but in our league, it's categories league, so it's all the same amount of points and everything pretty much. You just want to win each category. So, it depends what type of scoring, I guess, as far like if you're going to be more towards stolen bases or you want, more of a 5-tool guy or whatever it is. But if stolen bases really aren't that important in your league, then it's really not bad to punt on it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I get it, but I mean, still, it's for us, you can't punt on it. It's one of 10 categories. So you got to value it to a degree. Andrea, if you could let me know quick if Aloha is on right after us, that way we'll keep it right to 8. Otherwise, we might go a couple minutes after. Just let me know. The last guy I have for pitching is Dylan Bundy. Dylan Bundy.
Bundy.
I love Bundy. I think I own him in almost all of my leagues except for one. But I'm a big Bundy guy. Already 2.84 ERA, 15 Ks in 12 innings. I mean, I think he's got new life in Anaheim. He can never put it together in Baltimore. I like him. I mean, he's got the stuff to strike out a lot of guys. But yeah.
Dude, I mean, he does look good, but he had so much hype for so long. He just had to get out of that situation in Baltimore. Maybe he's turning it around. Maybe he is. I don't love him. You like him a lot more than I do. I'm not exactly buying it, but who knows?
Yeah, I do. I like Bundy. I'm going to ride him this year, see how he does. Chris wants to know about Cole Sulser. You know what Cole Sulser is, Paulie?
Cole Sulser. No.
You know who he is?
I don't.
Good. Keep it that way. All right. Thanks a lot, Chris. Blowing it.
Oh, man.
My nephew's a snake. He's going to have him on the team tomorrow. I'm actually going to give it to you, Paulie. He's got 3 saves. He's got 3 saves for both.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
I'm not going to buy too heavy on a Baltimore closer. I'm going to tell you I'm bidding on him just to see how high you're willing to go tonight to make sure I don't get him.
No. I got too many problems to go after Cole Sulser. I don't need any more problems on my hands.
All right. Well, that's our buy or not. So Kevin's not coming on tonight. That's good because we got 2 minutes. We're going to talk about
Andrew said to stay on all night.
Andrea, if we're staying on all night, Andrea, then you're getting on this with us, and we're going to do this together. There's going to be 3 faces.
Oh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Yeah. I'll send her the invite right now.
Yeah.
Chris Rico said, in all seriousness, can we hear the best man speech again?
Oh, Paulie boy.
Yeah. Well, it was pretty good. I got to be honest. I got to pat myself.
For those of you that don't know, Paulie boy was the best man at my wedding, and he gave a hell of a speech. So, yeah, it was pretty solid. So,
Rico's a legend. Love him.
10 out of 10. He said 10 out of 10. You get it.
Thanks, brother.
I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the Mookie Betts contract. It's old news. I just think tying up 13 years to any one player is absolutely ludicrous. I don't care who it is and what the team was and any of that. But I'm gonna shelf Mookie Betts. But I always like to end.
You hate that contract,
bro. Why would you want to be tied to someone for 13 years? Didn't they learn from Albert Pujols and Miggy Cabrera and Robinson Cano? These deals don't work out. They just don't work out. You're inheriting a problem, or you're giving a problem to the next leadership group, like whoever the general manager is. It's ridiculous.
But you do it so that if you win one World Series in 13 years, you win one World Series, it was worth it.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of teams look at it.
I guess so.
Especially if Mookie's like the catalyst of that team.
And the Dodgers are starving.
It's kind of worth it.
Dodgers are starving for a championship.
The shaman wants to know how much you could get for that Harvey jersey.
No, Shaman. The question is, how much could I pay you to take this Harvey jersey?
Yeah,
because I don't think I could sell it. But in all seriousness,
it has an inscription on it. It has an inscription on it. Tell him.
Not this one. I have another. I have two Harvey jerseys. This is how bad.
You got two.
I have two Harvey jerseys. The one I have at home has the Dark Knight inscripted, and I'm gonna frame it and I'm gonna put it up because I still love him. If it wasn't for him, Paulie, we don't make that World Series. And he gave us a great 2-3 year little piece right there. The guy fell apart. He had that thoracic surgery. I mean, yeah. I wish it would have been different, but I'll still frame it and put it on my wall. I'll get ridiculed forever. But
Jesse McTuza said he laughed a good amount at my best man speech.
Yeah. And I think
10 out of 10 was referring to BK's obsession with Dylan Bundy. You really do love that guy.
I do. I love him. But I like to end our time because I'm such a baseball memorabilia guy. And Malpal usually likes to jump in on this. So Malpal, I'm asking you for your thoughts on this. So I got 90 autographed baseballs, right? Some really nice ones. I got a Koufax. I got a Joe DiMaggio. I got a ball signed by Maddox and Smoltz and Glavine and Bobby Cox. Some really nice pieces, right? I like them. But I don't have that jewel, right? I don't have that. Yeah, Shaman. Bonds jersey. I would take a Bonds jersey in a heartbeat too. But Bonds is the best player any of us have ever seen. Steroids, no steroids. He should be in the Hall of Fame 5 times over. I'm a Barry Bonds guy. I don't care how truculent he was with the media, but I'm a Bonds guy. Anyway, back to memorabilia. So I always wanted that jewel, that one piece that is just like, this is my piece, right? Like a Walter Johnson, a Cy Young, a Babe Ruth, a Lou Gehrig, right? Never was able to get one out of my price range. I have a little bit of money saved up. I came across my path a Ty Cobb autograph ball. Ty Cobb used to sign the date whenever he signed. It was signed about 6 months before he died. The backstory is the guy that owns the ball, his aunt was a nurse at the hospital, bought 2 balls because she was there, signed 2 of them, and he's selling one of them. $7,000, $7,000 selling the ball. Talked to my wife, talked to my financial advisor. They were like, do it. If you want to do it, do it. Talked to some other guys that I know that were like, I don't know. I can get you a better one, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I didn't get it. I'm still looking for that piece. My question is that if you had $7,000, I'm not calling it disposable income because I'd like to spend it somewhere else. There's other things I could spend it on that's probably more worth my while. But would you spend $7,000 on a Ty Cobb signed baseball? That's the question, right? Like,
well, how much are you expecting it to be worth? I'm assuming in like 20 to 40 years from now.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing with Ty Cobb is the way that we're in, and guys, I don't mean to get too political here, but the way we're in cancel culture with racism, Ty Cobb was a very known racist. So I'm curious. Oh my God, big time. So I'm curious if Ty Cobb is going to get it's well known, but he still holds value because of just what an epic ball player he was. But
so that's a little more added risk than usual.
I mean, unfortunately, you got to think it through, and say, all right, But I mean, Babe Ruth was a womanizer, Ty Cobb was a racist, so you got to think this stuff through. But at the end of the day, I still wanted it, so I didn't spend the $7,000. Malpal, I don't know if you saying no is if you would spend that or not. I'm assuming it's no that you wouldn't. So I feel okay not, but I'm still looking for that jewel. I'm looking for that jewel. The only jewel I have right now is Paulie Boy. He's the jewel, the apple of my eye, the cream in my coffee.
Oh, you're too nice. You're too nice. I'm the jewel.
The jewel.
Don't tell my Aunt Crystal that you said that. She'll be very disappointed.
I know.
Real quick. Mets are up 3-0 behind me. I think we got to do the podcast every game and have it on in the background.
Or this is the effect of No Uenis.
Maybe. And they actually knocked Soroka out of the game. Soroka got hurt. He landed awkwardly on a pitch, and he's out.
Bro, I think Soroka is. I mean, he looked really good in that first start, but I think he's garbage too. I don't like him.
He had a good year last year, really good year.
He did, but he's not a hard thrower. I just don't like him. And not that you have to be a hard thrower, but like I don't like him.
Yeah.
I didn't like Fulte. Who's the guy? Newcomb. I just don't like these guys. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're gonna be great, but I don't know.
Yeah. Chris DeRico, you saw it. He said he always wanted that jewel, an autographed softball from when you struck out 3 in a slow pitch softball game with no sun in the batter's eye. Wow, is that true?
Paulie boy, listen, I'm going to tell you guys, when I lived in Boston, we used to play on a field that was right on the Charles River, literally right on the Charles River, right? And the wind that would come off of the river was amazing. And Paulie, I would throw, Chris DeRico will tell you, I threw this knuckleball that when the wind caught it, it would literally dance. And like, It wasn't like a clean, it was slow pitch softball, but like, I might have got lucky here and there. And like, just, it was unbelievable. So, there was some
that was like the real slow pitch though, with like the arc. Like an Ephus pitch. Yeah.
Arc. Yeah.
Oh, so not like when you played with me. Okay. Because I was gonna say, where was that when you pitched for my team?
No, this was arc.
Okay.
This was arc. Paulie, you think too much about the game that I got bombed. Not my first start where I was just Greg Maddux-esque painting corners, baby. Yeah. I'm painting corners. You remember that?
Yeah, no, you weren't bad. It's true. Oh, wait, look at this. Nan coming in with the last one. I really am the jewel.
The jewel.
Even to her, I'm the jewel. Love it. Supposedly, Shohei Ohtani shut down from pitching. He could still DH though. Not pitching the rest of the year.
Whatever. I'm not on the Shohei train. I think I took him in our league with Andrea, but I'm not a Shohei guy. A lot of hype there. There's just a lot of injury risk. I mean, what I don't get, Paulie, is how could he have this storied career? And he's still a young guy. He's like 23, 24. This storied young career in Japan. He comes here and now he's hurt all the time. Like he's literally hurt all the time. Like how hard is it for a guy to stay healthy? It really makes you appreciate Cal Ripken Jr. Like I heard today Mookie Betts play because his finger was a little swollen. Bro, Cal Ripken played for how many games? 2,700 games in a row?
Yeah, crazy.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, crazy.
Bro,
It is amazing. It's an amazing stat. It really is, and one that'll never be broken.
Never.
Ever.
Never. Not with this crap wussy culture we have now, where everyone's got to take a day off, no matter what happens.
Maybe it's just a difference in training programs between here and Japan. I mean, you know, in the United States, everybody loves to work you to death until you drop dead, pretty much. So, you know, in Japan is a little different. You know, they go with the 6 starters and whatever else they do. They take care of their players a little bit more. So it could be the Angels just botching the whole situation, man. It really could. Yeah.
This is my take on Major League Baseball training. And maybe with Japan, because I could see Japan being more yoga, Pilates, stretching, being more zen and whatnot. Major League Baseball, these guys train with weights. They get big. I'm telling you, I'm an anatomy physiology guy, okay? Muscle does not have elasticity like that when you're building. Muscle size, when you get big and you get bulky, you get hurt more. Muscle can't bend and move and have the flexibility as if your muscles, you want them lean and long, right? That's why they say do Pilates, do yoga.
Look at Tom Brady.
Look at Tom Brady. I mean, if anything, look at Jake Arrieta's best year is when he was doing Pilates. When he came,
Right.
he left Baltimore, came to the Cubs, started doing Pilates, and he had that ridiculous year. I mean, that's just what it was, and that's just what it is. Like I mean, when I see Noah Syndergaard in his off season on his Instagram, lifting all these weights and doing all these beach workouts and everything, and everybody's like, "Oh, Noah's in the best shape of his life." Get out of here, bro. Go hit a Pilates reformer. Go lengthen out, bro. I don't need. Look at Jacob deGrom, man. He's long and lean. You know that guy doesn't lift weights. Jacob deGrom does not lift weights. I'm telling you right now. He probably
doesn't
uses
need to, and he still throws 100.
Yeah.
And he's got the hardest slider in all of baseball. I think he's averaging like 93, 94 on his slider. I mean, I'm sure the guy don't lift weights. So is it really necessary? I don't know.
The Shaman thinks that Ripken record is overrated because he put himself over the team.
See, I don't really know because I wasn't really into baseball then. I think what year was that? Like 96, 97?
No. Oh, yeah.
No, 2000?
He broke it in the 90s. Definitely.
Yeah.
The strike was 94, right? The strike was 94. I think he broke the record like 95 or 96. Yeah, one of those two.
Yeah, so I don't really know if that was the case or not, but I mean, regardless if it was or not, show him to work any amount of time, 2,700 days in a row, whatever the hell it is. It's still amazing.
Here's my thing, and this is why I disagree with the Shaman, is even a hurt Ripken back then, it's better than whoever else you're going to put there. Because having a big shortstop that can hit for power, he was the mold, right? A-Rod came after, right? All these bigger shortstops. Who are you going to put there? Mike Bordick? Paulie doesn't know who that is. But Mike
I know
Bordick,
who Mike Bordick is. He came to the Mets right after that.
Right, he did. But, like, who are you going to put there? So half of the player that Ripken was, he's still better with a sprained finger.
Right.
But the fact is he lasted for all those seasons without getting hurt. Unbelievable.
Without getting seriously hurt. I'm sure he was nicked up throughout each season. He still played through it.
Shaman, you get crap for it because he's it's something to look up to.
How could you not?
He's the working man's hero. I mean, the working man always aspires for and holds up the person that doesn't complain, goes in there, works every day, works hard. That was Cal Ripken. Could you take the bend and say, oh, he was put himself on the team? Sure. Was his father his manager for a couple of those years? Sure. But at the end of the day, Cal Ripken's a Hall of Famer.
Right. I'm sure you weren't going to really find anybody to play over him anyway. Like you were just saying.
Exactly.
Yeah.
World Series champion, multiple All-Star, MVP. I believe he won MVP of the league once or twice. I mean, the guy was just.
I'm just laughing at the Rico saying you were Tim Wakefield-esque. No way.
I'm telling you, bro.
I don't know about that.
Don't sleep on the knuckle. Don't sleep on the knuckle.
He said the second best player to come from Japan after Ichiro. Malpal said Matsui. I feel like that's pretty possible. It could be Matsui guy. Yeah, because he was World Series MVP, right?
Yeah, pretty sure. Matsui was a stud. I mean, who else do we have really to pick from? Like, let's be honest.
Arabu? Yeah, it's not a big.
I mean, Hideo Nomo. Hideo Nomo was really good, but still not as good as Matsui was better. Matsui was definitely better.
I have to agree with you on that.
But All right, guys. Listen, we're 15 minutes past 8. We do wish we could stay on all night. I got a baby to put to bed.
He doesn't have to go to bed.
So, Paulie, I'll be right over to give you your bottle.
Tuck me in.
I'll tuck him in nice. Paulie likes a good tuck.
Listen. I'm not against it.
Paulie, I'm very disappointed Erica didn't come in today. Although we did have Nana. We did have my mother.
Yeah.
Which was a nice trade.
Erica's down the shore. She's at her cousin's beach house.
Got it.
So she couldn't tune in today, unfortunately.
Got it.
But next week, she'll be in.
I know she'll be in. But Lenny was in, Andrea, the Shaman, Malpal, Krista Rico, Jesse was in. Who am I missing? Anybody?
No, you hit most of them.
Rico,
you said Jesse. Oh, Luke, he was in here for a bit.
Luke was in for a hot second, but
the Shaman.
The Shaman or the Shaman? I don't know.
I like the Shaman.
Shaman is how people from Boston call the toilet paper Charmin. It's the Shaman.
Shaman.
I wipe my ass with the Shaman. The Shaman extra. The two.
Give me a roll of Shaman.
The double ply Shaman.
It's so funny.
Malpal
said, "See you guys tomorrow, right?" Yeah. No, if the Mets are winning with us on, so I'm thinking we come back every night until they lose.
Listen.
So it might not be a long stint.
If Andrea said, "Listen, Paulie Boy and BK, you got the best show on the Lenny Melnick Fantasy Sports Network. We need you on every single night." You know, Andrea. I mean, you just gotta ask, right, Paulie Boy?
If only we were so privileged. But we gotta earn our stripes here, Bob.
We do.
Wait, real quick, Andrew Jet, we got the whole fam.
Wow,
we got the whole fam.
Andrew, I got my aunt in this, my mother's sister. Oh my God, unbelievable.
So funny.
All right, guys, we've gone past baseball. We're into Family Feud here, so let's just move on. I love you guys. Thanks for being here, Paulie Boy. Always a pleasure.
Yes,
Fantasy fam.
Thank you.
Monday nights. Hey, Lenny, Andrea, thank you for always having us on here. We always appreciate it. We always have a blast with this. Thank you for letting us take an hour and 17 minutes of your time. Love you guys, and we will see you next week.
Yes, sir. Love you guys.
Boy. Later.
We out. Later.